Well, hello and welcome to this edition of River City Blue. I'm your host, Corporal T.B. Scarce. Thank you for joining us. And today we're going to go over some new and exciting things that are happening here at the Danville Police Department. And one of those is a project that has been long in the making, but it is now ready to roll out to the public, and that is called P2C, or Police to Citizen. And here to talk a little bit about this particular project is our Records Management Lieutenant, Lieutenant Jerry Pace. Lieutenant Pace, thank you for taking a few minutes with us today on River City Blue.
You're welcome.
We want to cover just briefly, in a nutshell, what the P2C project is all about and how, number one, it will benefit the citizens, and number two, how it's going to benefit the Danville Police Department.
Well, first off, it's a web-based program that you can access from any internet site where you might have at your home or library. And essentially what it is, we upload our incident reports, accident reports, most wanted list, current arrest, currently housed incarcerated individuals at the jail, and you can access those through the internet at the comfort of your own computer. However, it is important to remember that not all information that is taken by the police in the report is going to be included in this online web-based report, because for obvious reasons we have to redact certain identifying information that can be used for identity fraud, such as birthdays, social security numbers.
So it's safe to say that it would be the same information that a citizen would come down here and receive a hard copy of, which is an abbreviated version of the report. The basics are covered in the report. They can now access this right from any computer that they have internet access to.
That's correct, and let me answer that question this way. If you print that report at home, what you're printing at home is the exact same thing you would get if you come to the police department and picked it up at the customer service window. However, if you come downtown and pick it up, in the past we have charged a $5 fee for processing that and providing it to the public. If you print it at home, it's going to be absolutely free of charge to yourself, and you're still getting the exact same information. So by doing it at home, you're not going to be getting any less information than you would down here.
Exactly, and the trade-off of that is this. Hopefully, as more and more citizens take advantage of this feature, it will free up a little more time in the records office to concentrate on things that are important there, and also the citizens can save themselves a few dollars and the trip down here.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, it's a benefit to both the citizens and the police department. Obviously, the citizens are going to receive the report free of charge if they print it themselves at home. And at the same time, it allows the records personnel, who generally spend a lot of time processing and providing these reports, it would free them up to handle other matters, yes.
So a citizen who is going to be looking at P2C, and we're going to cover some of this just a little bit in a tutorial, they would need some key pieces of information. If they were looking for a traffic crash report, they would need the date of the report or the involved parties' names. If they were looking for an incident report, they would need the number. Are these the type of things that they would need from the officer at the time the report is initiated?
Yeah, that's correct. You're not going to just be able to just go on there and randomly check stuff. You would need to know the incident number or the case number, which would be provided. They're actually uniquely assigned numbers to every incident. So, for instance, you have a burglary. That is going to have a unique identifying case number, and you're going to need that case number plus the name of at least one individual, whether it be the victim or maybe somebody that witnessed the incident or the caller. You've got to have a name and an incident number for the report.
And there's a lot of reasons why citizens would need access to reports. Sometimes if you're a victim of something, you need that as a follow-up if you've got to make an appearance in court. If you're the victim of a loss, you may need something for insurance purposes, especially with motor vehicle crashes. So there's a lot of information that is going to be now readily available. Well, Lieutenant, is there anything else before we get to the tutorial on this particular P2C that you would like to add about the program and how the enhanced features are going to be constantly evolving as we go along? We may see things that need to be added to it or take things away that aren't readily used all the time. What else can we add to this particular program?
Well, this is a new form of technology that we are rolling out, so we are anticipating that in the beginning we may have some minor bugs that we may have to work out. For instance, right now we are dealing with hit and run accidents where you may have a case number that we spoke of, but We don't have a driver's name, but for obvious reasons, you don't know who the driver is unless it's a soft hit and run. So we're hoping by maybe the end of next week to have that issue resolved, which very well might be before this interview even airs. But any minor bugs that we are running across, we anticipate having those worked out in the very near future. And we are hoping that this is going to, like I said a few moments ago, benefit the citizens so they can access this information from the convenience of their own home. And hopefully over time this will prove to be a benefit for both the police department and the community.
Well, that's great. And now you have another example of how the Danville Police Department continues to serve the citizens here in the River District area. Well, Lieutenant, we thank you for taking a few minutes to be with us here on River City Blue, and we understand that you have a tutorial prepared on how to walk through the P2C steps, and we're going to roll right into that in the next few minutes. So thank you again for being with us here on River City Blue.
You're welcome. Okay, this is the website for the Danville Police Department P2C program, which is, it actually stands for Police to Citizen. And this is a web-based application that can be accessed anywhere that has internet capability. And obviously the first part that is of importance is up here in the very top. If you can see my mouse right above the D in Danville, I'm going to go to the address bar, and you want to type in that address, http p2c.danville-va.gov. And if you put that in your internet browser, this is what the page that you should get. And from here, I'm going to try to take you through a couple navigational operations. We're just going to start with the very top, right up under the city seal. From left to right, we have Home, which if you click, it'll take you right back to where we're at now, the home page. Event search. Now you can access event search from the right up under the city seal, or if you go over to the center screen just above center there where it says search for events, where my mouse cursor's at, that's going to carry you to the same place. If you click here or here, you're going to get the same thing, which we'll come back to in just a minute. Danville's Most Wanted, if you click that, it's going to give you a page of our most wanted individuals. Right now we have up to 18 of these people in here. If you go right up under the name and particulars box, right up under where it says Contact Us, you see 1 through 18, and you can click the left and right arrow buttons to go to the next person. I'll click the right and it took me to number 2. Click it again, it'll take you to number 3, and then you can go back and you can go through and look at all 18 of them. And if you see anybody in there you know, we'd appreciate a phone call or an email. Next we have recent arrest. If you click on that, these are pretty self-explanatory. It tells you exactly what it says. These are people who were recently arrested. It's got the name, age, picture if available, and the charge, contempt of court. Same thing, if you click the left or right, it'll carry you to the next individual. And it'll also tell you what number 2 of 108. The crash reports can be accessed from here at the top, or once again, just above center, right up under events, you have Get a Crash Report. Click either on the white bar or here in the center, and it'll basically take you to the same place. The wanted list. This is a list of all the individuals that are wanted in Danville, not necessarily our most wanted. This is everything from probably the least aggravated crime a person can commit is fail to pay a parking ticket, up to and including felony charges, for instance right here, sexual rape. So this is every warrant that we currently have on file. Next is going to be the inmate inquiry. These are people that are currently in the Danville City Jail or Adult Detention Facility, which many people know as the City Farm. And when you pull up this, it'll give you the name, the charge, the date they were arrested, and the booking agency or the agency where they're at. So if you can see Brandon Adams, he was booked at the adult detention, so it's a pretty good bet that's where he's being housed at. And down at the bottom it shows you have 1 of 10 of 441. And if you'll notice, they're in alphabetical order, so you can actually, if you're looking for somebody in P, you could jump ahead a couple pages maybe, or you could go to the filter and search by last name. Let me reset this for a second. Alright, let's say, we'll just go ahead and use this Crystal Bagwell right here. We'll do last name Bagwell. Hit find. And as you see, so if you're looking for somebody that maybe like a Smith and you don't want to go through all the way down to the S's, just go up there and type in Smith and it'll probably narrow your search. And the inmate inquiry, if you'll notice, the warrant list, just like inmate inquiry, is alphabetized by last name. So if you're looking for a wanted person on inmate inquiry, you can do that by last names, alphabetized. And I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, I believe the arrests are also alphabetized by last name. And the last feature, well, actually we have 2 more features, but we have an officer commendation where if you wanted to put in a kind word on one of the police officers that assisted you, you could actually go in here and put in the officer's information as best you know it, the incident details, your name, and contact information. And we have 2 more tabs at the top, frequently asked questions. You can go ahead and click. They're pretty self-explanatory. How do I pay a parking ticket? How to obtain a copy of a report online, which is actually what we're covering right now. And then, of course, if you want to contact us after you go look at the most wanted list or the wanted list and find some people in there that you may know, you can contact us at several points of contact. Now, we're going back to the home page right now. And I'm going to show you how to access two of the most requested pieces of information from the police department is a incident report and a crash report. Before I tell you how to access them, I'm going to briefly explain the 2. Crash report is going to involve motor vehicle accidents, obviously 2 vehicles, motorcycles, anything that involves a highway crash is going to fall in the crash report. Now, crash report in most cases is going to have an associated incident report with it. So when you're looking for crash reports, there's going to be, in most cases, an associated incident report to go with it, which is under events. Now, the events page is going to cover stuff like burglary reports, robbery reports, assault reports, pretty much anything that's reported to police outside of a crash report, a motor vehicle accident. Now, for incident reports, unless it's a crash, that's going to be the only report for an incident. So if you have a burglary, there's only going to be an incident report, and it's just going to be that one. So if you're looking for a burglary, assault, you're going to go to events, and that's going to be the only place you're really going to find a report. So I click on event search, and you got to have a couple of pieces of information to access a report. In this particular case, you're going to need the incident number, and I've already got one pulled up ready to go, 14004194. And not really that you need to know this, but it just kind of helps out. The first 2 numbers actually is the year that the crime happened in, so this is 2014, so 1400 basically just tells me that this is a 2014 report, and 4194 means that this is the 4,194th report made to the police department in Danville this year. Alright, so we got the case number. I happen to know that this incident happened on the 21st of May, but you got to put in the date. If you're not real sure, you would be, if it recently happened, you could probably go in and just hit this month and narrow your, it might help narrow your search, not narrow it, but help you zero in on when it happened. Let me specify the date. Okay, so I put in the incident number 14004194, and the report actually was made on the 22nd of May, so I put in from the 21st to 22nd of May. Now, with the incident report, you don't need to include a name, so you don't need to have the victim's name, the business's name. And what this report includes is it's called a police information report. It was made on the 22nd, 300 block of Vicar Road in Danville, Virginia. If you click on the PDF button, I'm going to actually back up. I might be going too fast. Just below center here where the mouse is at, that's where I was talking about, 52214. It's a police information report. And you see the case number matches what we put in. Location is 300 block of Vicar Road, and the PDF tab is on the right. Now, we're not going to have this police information occurred at 303 Vicar Road. The police are not going to put the exact address in there. We're going to just give you an approximate location, so that way it can't be zeroed in upon by people that don't need to have that information. And if you click on the PDF, it's going to give you what we call the public or media copy of a report. And this is it. This is what you would actually print off and get for free at home, or come to the police department in the old days and you would pay $5 for this report. Now I say old days, but this actually would be, if you still come to the police department, it would be that way. We're just trying to accommodate the public. Now what this basically tells you, you can see it was an incident happened 300 block of Vicar Road. It was a police information report. Most of your blanks are empty, and that's on purpose because we're only going to give very limited information on a public or media report. And it will tell you who the police officer was. In this case, it was Officer M.J. Gorley, and his supervisor is Captain A.P. Jackson. She's the one that looked at the report. And right here, case status, it will tell you that the current status of the case is inactive, which means it's not being actively pursued. And that could be for a number of reasons. And we'll keep on scrolling. Actually, we're done scrolling. Now, this report don't have a public narrative in it, which in most cases is going to be about a 1 or 2 sentence description of what the report is. And we're hoping in the near future that you're going to see more and more public narratives. We're just getting, right now at this point, we're trying to get all the officers on board to understand exactly what we're expecting in a public narrative. So we don't want to put too much in there or information that doesn't need to be released due to an ongoing investigation. So for right now, you may run across a report that don't have a public narrative at all, or you may actually find one that has a very brief, which the public narrative is going to be brief anyway, but you may actually run across one that does have a 1 sentence or one that does not, and that's the reason why. So that's how you access an incident report. Once again, case number 14004194, specify the date. In this case, I knew it was on the 22nd, so I put in 521 to 522, and hit search, and it will give you the information to pull up the PDF. And once again, you do not need a name or business name for an incident report. Now, the second report, which is probably the most widely requested report at the police department, is the crash report. And if you click 2 places, I'm going to go back to home for a minute. If you click right here in the middle where it says get a crash report, it'll take you to where we just went to, the crash report page. Or you can go up here to the white bar on top and click it, and it'll bring you right back to this same crash report search page. In this case, you've got to have a name and a case number. And let's see. So I'm going to look for a report, first name Margaret, last name Bass, and the report number should be 14004165. Now you notice I didn't put in a date. For the crash report, all you need is name and date. Name and case number, no date. And if you hit search, it'll take you to a crash that happened on the 21st at 2:27 p.m. Central Boulevard, and you can click the PDF button for the information. Now you'll notice a crash report has more detail in it than the incident report. However, you'll also notice that it does not contain a driver's license number, which is, I'm going to kind of spin my mouse here, right up under her address, Confederate Avenue. And right here the birthday is blank. The driver's license number is blank, because we're not going to release that information for the purposes of identity theft. And it tells you who the driver of the vehicle was, and then it tells who the vehicle owner was. In this case, it was actually two different individuals. They look like they're related, but two different names, or two different individuals. And this is most likely a hit and run report. The reason I know is because there's no driver of vehicle 1 or information on vehicle 1, which indicates that it's probably going to be a hit and run report. If you go down to page 2, it'll tell you all the facts about the crash. Page 3 tell you all the facts about the roadway conditions and weather conditions. And page 4 is what most people are interested in, the accident diagram and a very short description of what happened. This is your crash diagram, which I might add is a very good diagram. This is going to be Central and Riverside. That's over top of with 4 clover leaves. That's very complicated to draw. And if you read the crash description, it says vehicle 1 was rear-ended by vehicle 2 and then fled the scene. So this was a hit and run. That's why you see no information on vehicle 1. And this, if you print this, in most cases, this is a report that is requested by insurance company, so you can print this off and provide it to your insurance company, or your insurance company can pull it up themselves. Now, with this being a crash report, we're going to go back and see there should be an associated incident report with this as well. So May 21st, Margaret Bass, and the case number. Let's go back and see if we can find the incident report on this real quick. We got the crash report. It's going to be the same incident number. We just went to the incident module to look for it. And let's see if I can pull it up. Yep. Now what you'll notice is when I put it in there, it actually gave me both of them again. It gave me the accident right here, and it gave me the primary offense hit and run report, which is your incident. Actually, I'm going to back up. Right here under type, it says incident and accident. We've already looked at the accident report. That was with the diagram. Now we're going to go to the incident report. Now what you'll notice here is, once again, we have the police report that has very little information in it. Very little information. It tells the officer, the supervisor, he didn't put in a public narrative, and that's probably because he knew that the crash report contained a narrative. Now what you read on that accident report where it says vehicle 1 was rear-ended by vehicle 2 that fled the scene, that's kind of what a public narrative media copy is going to look like. It's not going to have, that one subject, talked to the police and said this, or you're not going to get a lot of details. Just going to have the very bare bone facts of the investigation. Okay, so we have covered the crash report, the accident report, most wanted page, recent arrest, the wanted list, inmate inquiry, and officer commendations. That's pretty much going to be, at this point, all the features that you're going to be able to access on the P2C. Now, I would like, for a few closing notes on this, I would like to say that if you were to come to the Danville Police Department to request either an accident or an incident report, what you have just seen on the computer is going to be all you're going to get at the customer service window. So you're not really going to be getting any more information if you come to the police department and request it in person than you would be accessing it online and printing it yourself. So this is really a convenient feature that the police department has enabled for the community to go online and print reports without having to waste time, gas, and energy coming downtown to get a copy of a report that we also used to charge for a processing fee to print. And also for insurance companies, this is going to be a great resource for insurance companies that routinely call in and request information be faxed to them. Now all they have to do is just go online and get the information. So that brings up probably a question that everybody has. Obviously, everybody knows their name, and they're going to know when they were involved in either an accident or when they had to call the police. But you're probably asking how you're going to go about getting your case number. When you call the police officer, whether it be to the scene of an accident or you call them to your home for a burglary or somebody throws some rocks at your house or something like that, when the officer shows up, he should provide you with a incident number before he leaves. We are issuing business cards that has a space on there where the officer can fill this information in, or he could write it on a piece of paper, or you could ask for him and write it down yourself. But if you are intending on using this website, please, when you encounter the police officer before they leave, if you have not received a number that is in the form of 14004194 or next year 15004194, if you have not received an incident number from the police officer, just ask them, can I get my incident number before you leave so I can access my report? And they should be able to provide it to you. If not, you can always call the police department, 799-6522 between 8 and 5 on normal business hours, and we can probably assist you with that. And in addition, this is a very, I feel like the system gets reports onto the web-based site quickly. However, you've got to understand, if you're involved in an accident at 8:00 p.m. on Tuesday night, you obviously can't expect a report to be on there by 9:30 or 10 o'clock, an hour and a half later. It's got to be written by the officer, submitted to the supervisor, where it goes through a level of review, and then it's submitted to the police records division, where it's reviewed again, and then it could actually be up to the next business day or possibly even 2 business days after the incident. So we do ask that you try to exercise a little patience, and maybe if you check and can't find it, say 12 hours after the incident, maybe give it another few hours and try it again, just for the process of the report to go through. It is reviewed by several individuals before it goes into the system. So with all that being said, I hope this has answered a lot of questions and addressed some concerns with the Danville P2C website. I hope this is going to be a valuable tool for both the community and the police department. Not only can you access your reports, but you can now go on and actually check and see who's wanted by the police, and we are relying on the public as well to provide us with information about those individuals. We have the Contact Us tab where you're allowed to contact us, and you can actually contact us and provide us information and not even give your name. So we're not going to give your name up if you do provide information. So with all that being said, hope everybody enjoys the new website. And once again, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to call the police department and we'll try to address them. Thank you very much.